Hello guys, we're back, Kleaguenglish, back on our YouTube channel. Apologise for being away for so long. Been a bit busy and other things outside of my control with the K-League, and been busy catching up on the games and stuff. But we're back, and we're going to do a review of the first 11 games, which is significant in the K-League 2023 season, because that means every team has played each other, and now we're getting around to them playing again, and then they'll play each other a third time, and then we'll split off into the championship and relegation rounds. But this is an important one, and I think we've had a great season so far. Some highs, some lows. We've already had two managers leaving their posts. One was sacked, and Kim Sang-sik of Jeonbuk. The Jeonbuk fans have been pretty much protesting ever since. They won the FA Cup last season. Even before that, he's finally gone. Rumours of foreign managers coming in. Cannavaro's been mentioned. Roberto Di Matteo's there. Could go with domestic managers as well. Kim Do-hoon, the former Ulsan manager, is also in the frame, so always interesting. I have a sneaky feeling that Bento might be contacted, but that's just my feeling on that one. Suwon Blue Wings also sacked their manager, Lee Byung-gun, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Today's video is pretty much just like looking at the table, recapping things, talk about the players, best performing players so far, ones who haven't performed, and ones that we think might improve as the league goes on. We've already got a couple of games this week, so we're very busy, and I hope you're enjoying the league and the content. We're at Buy Me a Coffee. If you're interested in SoRare and you play that game, we do predictions and transfers and advice and all that stuff there. We've also got Substack as well, which I'm planning on posting a bit more as we go on. So far, my game of the season has been Daegu versus Gwangju. It was 3-4 to the away team. Gwangju have been very exciting, and that game was a fantastic game. Gwangju went 3-0 up, I think, and then back to 3-3, and then eventually a late winner. But we've had some great games. Daegu involved in a couple. The first game of the season was good. They lost 3-2 away to Pohang, and that's going to be the game that's going to come around on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So exciting games, exciting players. Let's get into the league table. Top of the league is Ulsan. You won't be surprised to hear that. I think that was my predictions. We won't really be talking too much about my predictions because they were pretty awful. But they're top. They're quite far ahead. They're in the 28 points. They've only got one draw and one defeat. Defeat came away to Daejeon, who are one of the newly promoted games, and that was a very good game as well quite recently. But they've been very good. The star player so far, I think, has been Ludvigsen, their new signing, a Swedish blonde bombshell. He's been performing great. Ju Min-gu has settled in very well. Their XG is very impressive, outscoring their XG by a couple of goals, both of them guys. Ulsan on the whole have been outscoring their XG, and just very impressive. Worst player so far, you have to put it down to maybe Bojanic, who's only come in a couple of times and looked okay, but he hasn't really got a run. So he's also on the players we think will improve list. So he's looked good, but needs more game times. The other foreign player, Ataro Isaka, also has had a few injuries, so hasn't really played that much. You have to put Eun-won Sang into that category as well. He's done okay, but he's not performing at the same level that he did last season, so we expect him to be doing better. Okay, second, and a bit of a surprise, not necessarily to me. I think I put them up quite high in my predictions. FC Seoul, 20 points, very high position for them. They haven't been that high for quite a while. They've been going kind of from controversial sex doll stuff to bad, underperforming, and now finally they've got a bit of a rhythm, and they're doing quite well in the league, and in the stands they're doing amazing as well. So amazing attendances. The past weekend we had 37,000 at the World Cup stadium there, which is fantastic, and all around the league has been great for that this year. So big props to the fans turning up in record numbers. For them, Na Sang-ho is the obvious star of the league, possibly MVP for the season, player of the season, and he's been fantastic. He's got 7 goals, 1 from the penalty spot, and 6 from open play. He's been excellent. On the disappointing side, Ilchenko has been a bit of a bit part player. Hwang Hee-jo has come back, obviously, and he's scheduled to leave in the summer. So you got to look at what they're going to do then. Are they going to give Ilchenko more game time? Is he going to maybe even leave? He's got another 6 months or so on his contract, but he's been disappointing, and he'll be disappointed with his lack of game time. He has not really been given a chance to be taken off a couple of times at half time, which is not good in my opinion for not good management, really. I wouldn't take off a player consistently at half time. Players to improve, you would maybe hope Ilchenko, Go Johan is coming back from injury, the one club man. You've also got William, who hasn't, who's been injured as well. Quite a lot of players coming back from injuries. Kim Kyung-min, another one. Ji Dong-won, even, there's a couple of players. So Seoul do have the squad to really challenge for the top 4, definitely. Hopefully they can push on a bit and challenge Ulsan, who, have been very good so far, but, have overperformed their XG. So, have they been a bit lucky? They haven't performed totally well. They've just been very good at winning games. In the final 5 minutes of games, Ulsan have been excellent. So, hopefully they can challenge. In third place is Pohang. They're 1 point behind FC Seoul. They've also been very good. They lost their talisman in Shin Jin-ho, and weren't really expected to be up there from my point of view anyway. Kim Jong-woo has come into the Shin Jin-ho position in centre midfield and done really well, but he missed the last couple of games, and their performances have dipped, and maybe their depth isn't as strong as it could be. So that's a challenge for them. Best players, I think Zeka, he's top of the assist charts at the minute. His goal scoring isn't there. His finishing has been quite poor, but he's been playing okay. And then Go Young-jun has also been playing very well. Just behind him, the young under-22 player for Pohang. Player to improve, I think Kim In-sung. He got a red card recently, and we'll need to make up for that, really. That was a bad tackle or a bad decision to get 2 yellows there. And he's in at the moment because Jung Jae-hee has quite a big injury, so he'll have to improve. Wanderson is a player we're expected to maybe improve as well. He's been injured pretty much all the season. He played, I think, 45 minutes, but been struggling, so hopefully he gets back in that and improve their depth as well. We're rattling through them. Daejeon up in 4th, heavy heights of 4th. They've had a very surprising start of the season, have outscored their XG, so will they return to the norm? They're on 18 points, just another point behind Pohang, so only 2 points from second. Very impressive, especially Lee Jin-hyun, who scored from a corner. Direct, did he mean it? I don't know. I'm always a bit suspicious of players scoring from corners, but it was very good, impossible to save. That was against a Jeonbuk game. If you didn't see it, Google it or you look it up on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. Disappointing players, I'm going to put Thiago in there. I think he started very well, but in recent games he hasn't really been involved as much. He's the Brazilian striker. Leandro also should go in there as well. He's been kind of carrying, battling injuries, but he's a very good player and will be on the improve list. Ju Se-jung will also go in there. He had a massive, very violent clash in the Incheon game, which was another classic game, possibly game of the season so far, in a 3-3 draw away to Incheon. He got smashed in the face and required surgery, similar to Sung Min just before the World Cup. I expect him to come back, and he is back already, and improve the team and improve himself as well. Maybe even knock on the door for the South Korea team. We're on down to Jeju next in 5th. They're another 1 point. This is a theme. It's 1 point, 1 point, on 17 points, 1 point behind Daejeon. They started the season very badly, but have improved and look very, very good away from home. They won their last home game, which is the first in 285 days, apparently, at home. They've had a bit of an issue at home. They were a bit lucky in that game as well. They beat Pohang 2-1 just this past weekend. Kim Dong-jun in nets has been their probably best player, and that tells you a little bit about how they've been playing. Not that great. They have had a lot of injuries, and they're getting their players back now, so I think they can keep climbing up the table. For disappointing players, I think Yuri Jonathan has to go in there. Started okay. It doesn't seem that mobile, or recently he's been on the bench a lot. So you gotta either give him more time or hope he does improve, which I think he can. I think he looks okay. Im Chae-min is another one. He's just come back from injury after his kind of big signing for Jeju, and they've got a couple of other defenders coming back as well, so I think Jeju are looking decent. Next on our list is Suwon FC, the heckled Jekyll and Hyde team of the league. Sometimes they're fantastic, sometimes they're god awful. They lost 3-0 recently at home to FC Seoul. They were absolutely stinking, stunk up the place. And then other times they're really, really good. Lars Velvik, especially, is having the season, his best season probably so far in the K-League. Yoon Bit Karam is another one who's been fantastic. Another one who I would tip to go close for the MVP, for the season. Disappointing players, EJ Sung. He's come back, from Thailand a couple of seasons ago, and then he played in K2. He somehow managed to get back up to K1, and he shouldn't really. Their defense has some issues. He's injured at the minute, and I think hopefully you stay injured for them. Improving players, I think Lee Sung-woo, he hasn't scored yet. He has an XG of, I think 2.3. So he'll be disappointed. He's trying very hard. He had a few injuries. He's not 100%, but I expect him to get on the goal, score sheet very soon. Okay, we're in the bottom half. But again, Suwon were on 15 points there. And then it's 1 point again. Gwangju are on 14. Daegu 13, Incheon 12, Jeonbuk 11, and Gangwon 10. Gwangju first, another of the newly promoted team, have been good. The style of football is excellent, really progressive, interesting to watch, quite entertaining, although they have been involved in 2 0-0s, so sometimes they are overplaying a bit, maybe lack that goal scorer as well. Timo is our probably best player so far. Very impressive from the Dutchman. Hoyo is going in my worst players. I think can do better. He had a couple of chances there at the most recent game. He's fluffed them a couple of times. Hopefully he improves. And then in the improving players as well, I've got Asani, who had that hat trick. I think maybe the only hat trick so far this season, against Incheon in that big 5-0 win. And then we have Eo Udom, who's been injured and will come back fairly soon. Daegu on 13 points is in 8th. They've not been great. I think they'll be happy to be in 8th. They've been missing Cezinha. He's only played 7 of the 11 games, and even some of them he's been injured. Edgar, on the other hand, has been terrific. He leads the XG charts in the league. He's had the most XG, and a great return for him. He's been excellent. Some of his headers have been just 101 headering ability, best headerer in the league for sure. Lots of players could go on the worst one. Barcelos is probably going to go in there. Sometimes he looks decent. Sometimes he looks he hasn't got a clue. Like he's been quite temperamental as well at times. He put a very bad challenge in on Build 2. He's very lucky not to get red for that one. I'm not sure. The manager has been quite critical of him and Serato. I'm not that keen on that kind of style of criticism, but from the manager. But I think hopefully he'll improve as well. Cezinha is going to go on my improving list because if he gets fit, hopefully he can and stay fit or manage his game time more, and then he'll get better like that. We got Incheon next in 9th. Incheon on top of the XG table, and they're just not converting. Jerso is in my players to improve this, or worse players, whichever one you want to look at. He's got 1 goal, but his XG is much higher, and he'll be disappointed with his contributions so far, but he's a very good player, of course. Chung Sung Hun goes into the good side there. He's done very well, very impressive. He's only recently come into the team, and he's got a couple of goals. He is injured now, though, so concerns about where Incheon are going to get their goals if they keep missing these chances as well. Lee Myung-ju is another one who's been out injured. He'll be coming back soon as well. So room to improve from their very low position of 9th, but I think they will climb the table, and you can see there's not many points between them. There's only 8 points between them and Seoul, same as Seoul and Ulsan. Jeonbuk are in 10th. Wow. What a season and what a disaster they've been having. The players imploding, arguing, shouting at referees, going ape shit, and really underperforming as well. They've sacked their manager. They don't have a manager at the minute, so we can't predict too much. Will they bring in a firefighter or someone more long term? We don't know much. In terms of the players, I think Amano has been playing well. He's been probably the only good signing. They kind of tried to overhaul the squad, and it hasn't really worked out. They've also had a lot of injuries. Lee Dong-jun goes into the worst players just because he's been injured and keeps getting injured. Hopefully he comes back soon. Cho Gu-sung needs to go into the improving side. Will he stay for longer? All the rumours have quieted down about the summer. So there's a chance he stays, and he needs to start playing once he gets back from injury and improve Jeonbuk's league position. 2 more. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're still there, Gangwon, 10 points, 1 behind Jeonbuk. They had a shocking start, 7 games. It took them to win a game, and they haven't been playing that well even since then. Not sure what's going on. They've changed the keeper. They've gone with a young guy, Lee Gwang-yeon. He seemed to be their lucky charm. He kept them up a couple of seasons ago. Han Guk-young has also returned to form, which is great after he had like 2 seasons out with injuries. Alabayev goes into my worst player column, partly down to his homophobic views, allegedly. But, that's my main reason. But he's also looked pretty awful. Kim Dae-won, will be on the improving, list, because I think, he's obviously a class player and, will return to form sooner rather than later. Last one, Suwon Blue Wings. So they've changed their manager. They've gone with Kim Byung-soo. He's nicknamed his style of football is Byung-soo Ball, very original, I know. But he's a good coach. I think he is a good appointment. The previous manager, Lee Byung-gun, was always seen to me as a bit of a firefighter, rather than someone who's going to improve the club. I think Kim Byung-soo can do that. They've got a good squad. They're down on 5 points, which is shocking. Only just got their first win of the season in the 11th game there, so they'll be looking to climb up the table. It might still be a struggle. It might take Kim Byung-soo a bit of time to do that. For their best players, I've probably just gone with the goalkeeper, Yang Hyun Mo's had a good season so far in nets. Not much else. Kim Bo-kyung had some good moments. Basani has some good moments, but collectively they haven't been there really. And then poor is Han Byung-jun, their striker, who's got a 0 of an XG of I think 2.4 as well. So he's not been performing. And then improving players, I'm going to go Mulich. I think he showed what he can do against FC Seoul, an excellent kind of solo goal. Acosti, so they've got some good foreign talent who they need to get playing and used to their style, the new style of play. That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back hopefully with more stuff. Sorry it's been a while. Kleaguenglish here. I'm on Twitter, or subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. See you guys.